The floor of the horse stall was hard and dirty. My middle school friends thought I was crazy. Who wants to smell like poop and be covered in blood in afterbirth? I was exhilarated. To be present soon after birth was a privilege, not a right. I had spent months with the mare prior to her delivery. She doesn't trust many people, my riding instructor had said. She had been a broodmare for most of her life, never really ridden. After school, I would walk to the farm, carrots in my pocket and a brush in my hands. Gently, I would groom her, checking for signs of labor. Colostrum dripping, a soft hindquarter, a change in behavior. The look in her eyes, the subtle movements towards or away from me. She was sensitive and strong. I listened to her. On a new spring morning, the call finally came. A little filly had arrived. I raced down to the farm and took her in with awe. Her rich brown fur shimmered in the sun, and she stood on wobbly legs. A white marking in the shape of a question mark blazed her head. I slowly walked into the paddock and greeted her mother with postpartum carrots. The little foal looked at me with fear in her eyes, sensitive and reserved like her mom. The urge to reach out and touch her was so tempting. My instructor handed me a bucket. Go sit on this. Sit on her level. Let her come to you. I sat down on the floor of the home as the roach scuttled by. Crayons filled my pockets, and I held a blood pressure cuff in my hand. People thought I was crazy. You work where? My heart belonged here. Her story blew my mind. Abuse, violence, generations of shame. Since she was a child, she had been having children. She sat on the couch while her older children sat with me on the floor, the weight of their world spilling all over me in the form of their spiraling emotions. She told me she trusted no one, but she kept saying I could come back, so I did, each time my brain bursting with more ideas than the last about how to fix it. I wanted to blurt them all out. I wanted it to be all okay. Before I knew it, that small dainty filly became a beautiful, strong mare. I was excited to finally begin riding her. Today was the day, but she was nervous. You must be patient, I could hear my mother say. She's telling you she's anxious today. If you want to build real trust, you must listen to her. I sighed. My mother was too patient. Then I laughed because I thought about myself, the sensitive child. Patience is a gift of love. I put the saddle away. Covered in marker and half-chewed cookies, I colored with the little boy I once held in my arms. It had been almost 4 years, and graduation was quickly approaching. She was nervous. I could feel the exhaustion and pain in her eyes from across the room. Children and youth had come again. The father of the baby had let her down again. Her own family was a force of violence again. The temptation of hopelessness was real. What did I even do for her? But when I looked at her, I looked at myself. I looked at her children, and I thought of my mares. I had given her the best gift I had to give, and she had given me hers. And that was worth far more than any ride.